I am shocked at what Adan Keinani is talking about. Nobody gives you anything for free.
I said that.
Nobody. When you say that we have to be very, very, very happy that this has happened, my brother, I'll tell you, we must be very, very, very worried that we are taking this position. Historically, Kenya has been known as a country where we were unaligned, where we took a position which was assumed to be morally, politically, and economically correct. What has happened is that President William Ruto has just found himself in this thing. In fact, I can tell you what fast-tracked President Ruto being given a state address is the day they saw when President Raini from Iran coming to Nairobi. You know, that state visit was shocking, because the Americans then began asking, what are the Iranians doing in Nairobi? And the Israelis started asking the same question. Immediately, for somebody at the State Department must have called a meeting and said, what is it that we are going to do in Kenya before we stop? In other words, President William Ruto has always had diplomatic policies which are either blowing hot and cold, depending on which side was on the table. Now, what the Americans are telling him is this: now your side is going to be this one which is hot. You are going to be pro-West. You are going to make sure that you do whatever the Americans and NATO ask you to do. The major non-NATO special ally designation is basically meant that, yes, the Americans now are comfortable, and NATO itself, to bring the equipment and military hardware into this country. You see what is happening in Nanyuki? That is what the Americans are going to do, whether they set it up in Manda or wherever they do. The point I would like to raise to my president is very simple. When you look at the nitty-gritty of the agreements they are going to sign, I hope that his position is that he is going to negotiate for arms and any other of those things that Honorable Keinani has raised, but for defensive purposes and not offensive. There's a difference, Sammy, when you get military equipment, which is being brought to your country for the purpose of who? You are ready to invade anybody or somebody if something happened. And those are the things, for me, I would like us to legislate as members of the National Assembly and members of the Senate. We must know, what are we providing to the United States of America government by them giving us that state? Honorable Keinani, you will mention, and I appreciate what you've said about the benefits which are going to come. Look at the way Japan is doing, South Korea. My position, my brother, is very simple. South Korea, Japan, Indonesia, and all those countries are done well because they've been given an opportunity. Most of their goods are exported to the United States. That's why they were given a special economic status. If the Americans give us that, then I'm ready to say, my brother, yes, fantastic score. But if we are just going to bring American soldiers here who keep talking to us about, you, man, you know what I'm saying, man, those things we don't want. That's going to be a story. You'll see the things coming in the next 5 years. We want a serious engagement where the benefits are tangible. Kenya needs economic growth and development. If that is what these special status, non-major nation status that Kenya is going to be given, if they can give us the economic benefits that come, like AGOA, to be increased, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Where our students need to be given scholarships to go and learn in the US, where the American government can actually support many of their companies to come and set up here in Kenya so that we can start producing some of the products which the Americans are going to use when